It's Patrick Hutzel from intensivecarehotline.com with another quick tip for families in intensive care. So today I want to talk about a call that I had with a client this morning who contacted me and basically said that her 53-year-old sister is in ICU and she's only been there for 6 days after a cardiac arrest with potentially hypoxic brain injury, right? And after only 6 days, the ICU team is asking the family whether they want to stop treatment, or even more forceful, they say so they should be stopping treatment and life support because she won't have any quote unquote quality of life going forward. And that is only after 6 days. And they're saying their sister was previously fit and healthy. So, that is sheer and utter madness. And the first question I said to the client they need to ask to the ICU team is, what is the rush and where's the urgency to kill someone after 6 days? There is plenty of time to talk about end of life. Plenty of time, right? So if an ICU team is telling you after 6 days in ICU, with hemodynamic stability, the sister is actually stable. It's just that she's not waking up. And if she's not waking up, that also means she's probably under the influence of sedatives or opiates. Even though she may be off it, she may still be under the influence of it. The biggest challenge for families is simply that they don't know what they rights. They don't know. But I think I've given them the first tools so they know and understand how to manage intensive care teams so that they don't walk all over them. Removing life support after 6 days in ICU, number one, it's not a long time. Number two, could be perceived as murder, right? Could be perceived as euthanasia, depending on what medications they're giving. And it's simply misleading families in intensive care, because I can tell you, we have saved many lives for our clients in intensive care with very good outcomes, where weeks later, sometimes months later, and sometimes not at all, people do wake up, right? And people have quality of life that is acceptable for them and for their families. So it is absolutely not for ICU teams to make a judgment on what quality of life is or isn't, because that is a very subjective decision to make. It's not a decision to be made for ICU teams, let alone after 6 days. So what this family obviously needs as a matter of urgency is a second opinion, which we will be giving them by looking at medical records, by giving them the full picture of what's actually happening. I can tell you from my extensive intensive care nursing experience, ICU teams tell families not even half of what is going on, not even half, right? Because they're not even telling them half of what's going on, right? They can't have the big picture. They can't have the full picture. So what is the point after 6 days to kill a patient in ICU? But the point from an ICU perspective is often they need beds, they need to free up staff and resources, but that doesn't serve families in intensive care. Families in intensive care, it's all about preserving their loved ones and their loved ones' lives. Life is sacred, and you need to go, unfortunately, in this day and age, to great lengths to preserve your loved one's life. And like I said, there's plenty of time to talk about the end of life in case their sister isn't surviving, or in case their sister isn't waking up. Remember, approximately 90% of patients in intensive care survive, right? And with 90% of patients in intensive care roughly surviving, right, that means the odds are in the patient's favor, right? Always keep that in mind. So like I said, plenty of time to talk about end of life. There is no rush to kill anyone, right? And also families in intensive care need to make decisions they don't regret in 12 months' time. Make decisions today that you don't regret in 12 months' time, 18 months' time, 24 months' time. because most likely this family will regret letting their sister go, letting their sister die, and then they will have second thoughts. Because at the moment, this is a highly charged emotional situation, and you need to let the emotion pass by and make rational decisions, not hasty decisions about life or death. And that is, I'm saying that with all of my experience. I have worked in critical care nursing for 25 years in 3 different countries, where I worked as a nurse manager for over 5 years. And I've been consulting and advocating for families in intensive care since 2013 here at intensivecarehotline.com. And I can very confidently say that we have saved many lives for our clients in intensive care. And we can do the same for you, and you can verify that we have saved many lives and improved outcomes for our clients in intensive care by looking at our testimonial section and by going to intensivecarehotline.com testimonial section and going to our podcast section at intensivecarehotline.com, where we have done client interviews, because our advice is absolutely life-changing and is saving lives. And you can join a growing number of clients and families that we have helped over the years. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of members and clients over the years, and you can be one of them. We'll turn your situation around so that your loved one gets best care and treatment always, so that you can make informed decisions, have peace of mind, control, power, and influence when your loved one is critically ill in intensive care. Now, and that's why I do one-on-one consulting and advocacy over the phone, Zoom, Skype, WhatsApp, whichever medium works best for you. And I talk to you and your families directly. I handhold you through this once-in-a-lifetime situation that you simply cannot afford to get wrong. I also talk to doctors and nurses directly on your behalf or with you, and I ask all the questions that you haven't even considered asking, but must be asked when you have a loved one critically in intensive care. I also represent you in family meetings with intensive care teams so that you have professional consulting and advocacy in a family meeting. We also do medical record reviews in real time so that you can get a second opinion in real time. We also do medical record reviews after intensive care if you have unanswered questions, if you need closure, or if you are suspecting medical negligence. And all of that you get at intensivecarehotline.com. Call us on one of the numbers on the top of our website, or simply send us an email to support@intensivecarehotline.com, where we also have a membership for families of critically ill patients in intensive care. And you can become a member if you go to intensivecarehotline.com, click on the membership link, or go to intensivecaresupport.org directly. In the membership, you have access to me and my team 24 hours a day in the membership area and via email. And we answer all questions intensive care related. And you also have exclusive access to 21 ebooks, 21 videos that I have personally written and recorded. And all of that will help you to make informed decisions, have peace of mind, control, power and influence, making sure your loved one gets best care and treatment always. And all of that you get at intensivecarehotline.com. Call us on one of the numbers on the top of our website, or simply send us an email to support@intensivecarehotline.com with your questions. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular updates for families in intensive care. Click the like button, click the notification bell, share this video with your friends and families, and comment below what you want to see next, what questions and insights you have from this video. I also do a weekly YouTube live where I answer your questions live on a show, and you will get notification for the YouTube live if you are a subscriber to my YouTube channel. If you are a subscriber to my intensivecarehotline.com email newsletter at intensivecarehotline.com. Thank you so much for watching. This is Patrick Hudson from intensivecarehotline.com, and I will talk to you in a few days. Take care for now.